at the polls. The entire nation's watching this one. Pollster Frank Luntz just polled people about those ads. He is the author, by the way, of What Americans Really Want, Really. And Dr. Luntz is with me right now.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, let's deal for you. Polled all these people. You looked at them, you put them in the focus group, and you showed them Corzine ads attacking Christie. What was the result?
The first result was that the public's had enough. New Jersey voters, all they see is negative this, negative that, and they're frustrated. They're angry, and to a great degree, they've made up their minds. Governor Corzine's got among the worst numbers of anyone in America, of any governor, and yet he's still even with his Republican opponents.
Let's just take a quick look at it, Frank. Here's that ad.
Where's Chris Christie on health care? With the insurance industry. He'd let them drop coverage for mammograms, for prostate cancer screenings, autism screenings. They could force new mothers and their babies out of the hospital sooner. The insurance industry helped raise $100,000 for Christie, and he'd give them a $100 million tax break, while our premiums just go up. The insurance industry doesn't need a governor.
He did not. He was unsuccessful in getting over 50. The viewers get a chance to watch the lines go back over it now. An effective ad is one that goes over a 50. While voters were concerned about the insurance implication, they were even angrier at Governor Corzine for not holding himself accountable, and we've got that ad. Of all the ads we tested, the one that you're about to show is the one that did the best.
Yeah, let's have a look at that one.
I ask you, the citizens of New Jersey, hold me accountable.
John Corzine's New Jersey, $8.9 billion in new taxes and fees, the highest taxes in the nation, the worst unemployment in the region. Now Corzine asks for 4 more years.
Hold me accountable.
Want to change Trenton? Start by changing governors. Chris Christie, fiercely independent, bipartisan. Christie will reduce government to lower taxes and create new green jobs. Chris Christie, governor.
So that red line going up quite sharply there, that's a sign that the ad worked.
That the ad had an impact on voter attitudes. Accountability is the #1 thing we want from Washington, or we want from politicians on a statewide basis. And when Governor Corzine says, hold me accountable, the public looks and says, absolutely. We're not in the business of advising campaigns, but I would tell the Corzine campaign in the final 96 hours, you better defend your record, because New Jersey voters are really ticked at you for raising taxes and not cutting spending.
So the vicious attack ads, you're saying that does not work?
It has worked up to this point, but to put you over the finish line, and for Chris Christie, the ad that he should be running is that accountability ad. Of all the ads we've tested in New Jersey, that was the most effective, because when voters see it, it reminds them. The governor said, hold me accountable, and they haven't.
All right. We're showing, I think, about it. Yeah, look at that. Now, this is an ad from Corzine looking at Chris Christie and saying he's fat. Okay, making an issue of the man's body shape and size. What do you make of that?
I don't believe it's going to have an impact. I believe that voters in New Jersey are smarter than that, that they can look at this and see that this is the sign of a desperate politician. And I got one thing to say to you. If you don't hold someone accountable for raising taxes and spending too much and not being the governor that you promised to be, if voters don't hold that person accountable, then they should stop complaining, they should stop fussing, because they have only themselves to blame. If you don't vote for change, how can you ask for it? Well, there's a hypocrisy there, and I'm wondering if New Jersey is going to wake up and understand if you don't like the job he's done and you cannot afford the property taxes, then there's only one way to change that.
But this is not just significant for the state of New Jersey. I mean, this has national significance.
Correct.
You know politics better than I. What is the national significance of the New Jersey race?
Well, there's also the Virginia governor's race.
Yeah, of course.
And that voted for Barack Obama by 6 points. If they turn around and vote Republican, that says that there's been a trend. Now, New Jersey, the last time they voted Republican was never. I mean, this is a very democratic state. The fact that the two of them are neck and neck. This is an opportunity to cast a protest vote. This is an opportunity through your vote to send a message to Washington. And once again, it's up to you. If you support the health care reform, if you support the additional spending for cash for clunkers and stimulus and bailouts, if you believe in that, then you probably should be voting Democrat.
Okay.
But if you're angry with how much spending, then you vote for change.
All right, let's have a look at, you've got some little bites, I think, from the people in your audience when you were asking about the public option, government care. Let's roll that tape, see what they said.
There's no funds available to pay for it. We're going to go further into deficit if we have to pay for this.
They're telling us it's not going to cost a cent, and I have a big credibility gap because the government will build another bureaucracy.
I don't think people really understand what a public option is, and calling it a government option is inaccurate.
I'm afraid of rationing and that we're not going to have enough doctors who want to go into the field.
They didn't like it, Frank.
There's a lot of fear there. There's a lot of fear because of how much it'll cost them as individuals, how much it's going to cost the federal treasury, what the rules are going to be, whether it's going to increase or decrease competition, and in the end, will they get the care they need when they need it?
I don't think people know exactly what the public option is.
Therefore, how could they vote for it on the floor of the House and Senate if the American people don't
Because they've been told it's good for them.
But they don't believe it's good for them. They've got more questions every week, and Washington seems to be rushing them into a decision. I got to tell you, I'm watching election night very carefully. We're going to be doing one of these
Yes, you are.
dial sessions.
Yep.
I think the public is going to use Tuesday night to send a message to Washington and to the state leaders. Enough is enough.
Be very interesting. Any way you slice it.
Look forward to it.
Key day. Good stuff. Dr. Frank Luntz, thank you very much indeed. Got it.
Thank you. Great book, by the way.
The book. What Americans Really Want, Really. There it is. Red, white and blue. Looks good, Doctor. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
On Monday, Chris